And welcome back to KTN Newsdesk. I'm Michael Karanja. Advertising spend is what we're going to be talking about this afternoon, and just to help us understand what goes through the minds of corporates when they are spending that colossal amounts of money on advertising and marketing. I'm joined by Priscilla Muhio, Marketing Manager, OLX. Priscilla,
yes.
85.8 billion shillings was spent in 2014 in advertising.
Yes.
Where is that money going to, and why are people spending that much money in advertising?
Well, I think that it's important to advertise, of course, because you want to increase your revenues, you want to increase the sales. So how would people know about your product? So marketing is very, very important. I can give an example of OLX. The online classified concept is very new in Kenya. As we all know that e-commerce is very nascent in the market. So we had to start by educating consumers on how to use the online classified site. Basically, people were not familiar with selling anything online. So we had to start from educating
Consumer
people.
Education.
Yes, educating people on how to sell stuff online, and then showcasing OLX as the best proposition. Yeah.
Just looking at your case, you spent about 1.31 billion shillings on advertising, yet you offer a free service. So when I look at it, where's the money for OLX coming in through?
Yes, that's a very common question. Every time I meet someone who knows, someone who knows I work at OLX, the first thing they ask me is that how does OLX make money? Currently, we don't make money, and I'll give you an example, or rather, I'll explain why. OLX is owned by a company called Naspers. Naspers is the 5th largest media concern in the world. They're the same guys who own DSTV. They own 86% of OLX. So they're the guys behind the fundings that we have. The guys who pay my salary, the guys who enable us to do the marketing we do. And for most internet businesses, it's very important to get users on board fast prior to start charging them. So we have to make sure that we have a huge network of buyers and sellers prior to us asking people to pay us for the service.
But just looking at that, just advertising growth in the market, just from about 79 billion in 2013 to 85 in 2014. Just is it looking like companies actually increasing their marketing spend and advertising spend to more or less lure new customers into businesses?
Well, I think the increase is because of media rates inflation. I can tell you that internally we've had to negotiate with KTN in terms of advertising rate cuts. So I attribute that mostly to media rate inflation.
And if a company, let's say, is spending even as much as 5 billion shillings on advertising, how do you measure the return or the effectiveness of what you're actually putting out there, and does it to make it a justifiable spend that next year you want to spend about even 6 billion shillings?
Yes, fortunately for us, e-commerce is very easy to track, like in terms of results, unlike an FMCG where you have to wait for a while to see the sales grow. For us, every time we launch a TV campaign, a radio campaign, we see the result the next day. We've been around for 2 years in terms of marketing, and we are currently doing 100,000 people coming to the site every single day. So that we attribute that, of course, to the aggressive marketing that we've been doing. Our plans is to continue doing such marketing. It's because we need to continue growing our lister base, what we call lister base or our user base. So marketing is very important, in my opinion, very, very important. We have to make sure we get consumers understanding the brands the brand offering that the different corporates are offering.
And just looking at what's happening in the market, the antics have even grown from strange to weird, I might call it. We see nowadays people in the streets on stilts, walking around trying to advertise or just capture people on rollerblades in terms of pushing products across. How crazy is it going to get when it comes to actually marketing and advertising in this country?
Well, I think when people do such things, it's just to try and be different. Because there's a lot of competition. Luckily for us in the e-commerce space, we have a few players. So OLX, we have to continue maintaining our dominance. So we have to also innovate in terms of the marketing channels we come up with. We are very open to testing new channels. Every day we try new channels, and what we've learned over the time is that different channels have different roles. For TV has the role of brand awareness. Radio is a very good platform for dialogue with the consumer, for example. So we appreciate that each channel has its different role, and we have to continuously innovate in terms of coming up with new ways of marketing. Otherwise, it will not make sense to continue doing the same thing and expect the same different results.
Just looking at the channels, also we're looking at TV, radio, newspapers. Nowadays we also have big spends also on social media and other different platforms. When you look at all this, perhaps in spreading the money across, how do you gauge the effectiveness of each of those platforms?
Of these platforms, I'll talk about online spend, the reason why it's increasing. This is because we are seeing more and more people getting connected in the online platforms. As you know from CAK, we have 21 million people who have access to the internet, and are frequent users of the internet. So that means people are online. So if you want to talk to consumers, you have to be online, in the online space as well. What we believe is that at OLX, what we believe is that these channels work together. Yeah, they don't work in isolation. You can't just do TV only. You can't just do radio only. You have to find the right mix. So we can continuously try to engineer our combination to find the right mix. And every time we do that and we find different results, so we try and optimize as we go along. Like I said before, it's very easy for us to track results. So we are able to optimize even on a weekly basis because change how we do it.
All right, thank you very much. As been Priscilla Mohio, marketing manager at OLX, just telling us about how crazy it's going to get on the advertising front and what to expect going forward and using multiple platforms to actually get the message across. Najma Ismail, what's happening at FIFA?